Hi, everyone. My name's Lisa Baylis, and I'm here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, far away, very far away from you. Lovely's in Dublin right now, and I'm so thrilled to be invited to come and speak with you. I'm sure you've heard a little bit about me, but I am a high school emotional and academic counselor here in Victoria. I've worked full-time in that role. I have a master's in counseling psychology, and I've been doing this job both here and internationally for almost 15 years. And in the last little while, I've had a strong focus on positive psychology in my life and positive education. I've done a lot of learning. And since then, I've become one of the leads in my district around positive education and mindfulness. And so I've had the privilege of meeting your lovely host, Marilyn Hugh, this summer. And I'm so thrilled to be able to come and be a part of your learning today, and hopefully I can offer you a little bit of information or some research and some experiences that I've been working through that have helped me share this knowledge and share some of the things that I'm doing. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's happening in our world over here in little old British Columbia. I can't speak for all of Canada. Canada's a big country. I'm of one province of 10 and 3 territories in our large country. But here in British Columbia, we are leading the world in some of the awesome resources happening up. We have a new way of evaluating students that's a part of our evaluation process. Ties in a lot to the social emotional learning core competency. So that picture on the right, the wheel, is sort of the concept of social emotional learning. This is growing in a shared language that's happening around the world. And what we've tied in are something called core competencies. And what we're doing now is every educator in every class is now helping kids evaluate their own concepts of core competencies. So some self-evaluations from kindergarten to grade 12, or grade 1 to grade 12, or year 1 to year 12. I can't remember how you guys call it. And this is in thinking. This is in students are having a good concept of creative and critical thinking, and they're aware of when they're doing it for themselves. They're gaining an awareness of their own communication and how they communicate with others and why that's important, and some personal and social awareness. So this is that concept of a deep social responsibility that they're aware of, whether it's from a classroom to a country or to a global scale. They're having a concept of how they connect and are aware of what's happening in the world. That there's a strong personal awareness and personal responsibility, so that students are tying in some of this management of their own emotions and their own behaviors, and some personal and cultural identity. And so all of these things are being looked at on a ongoing reflection and evaluation with our educators right now. The thing that's the most exciting about this is that it's creating a shared language. So social emotional learning, core competencies, positive education, mindfulness, what these are all doing is they're coming to a place where we're all starting to create a language around well-being that is supported and appreciated in schools. And so this is happening at our provincial level here in British Columbia. One of the things that's happening in our district, and I'm really excited to be a part, we do a lot of mindfulness training for our educators. And so I'm thrilled about this because, again, I really truly believe that for us to succeed and to move forward, we need to have this shared language in education, and teachers who, if they want to talk about well-being, need to come from a place of authenticity. Kids can smell authenticity no matter where they are. And so we're not coming from this place of, authentic lived experience of whether it's mindfulness or growth mindset or a deep grit. It's really hard for us to educate our students in these things. It's really hard for them to understand, or for us to talk about character strengths if we're not aware of our own strengths in our own selves. And so there's been a large push across our district to talk about mindfulness, and that teachers are wanting this. And what we're saying is that before you just go into the classroom and start sharing this language, that you have a good lived experience for yourselves. And so we've been bringing in, I think we've finished our 3rd cohort of educators. And when I say educators, I'm not just talking, again, teachers, I'm talking about support staffs, and we call them EA, education assistants. So people that are also in the classroom that are helping. We're moving into parents. So I do a lot of work with parent advisory groups within our school. So how are we supporting parents so that they're getting this language as well? When we all speak the same language, it sure makes it easier for our kids to understand it as well. This is a really big piece that's important. And then we're talking about this. What if we recharge ourselves as often as we did our phones? We live in a tech world these days, and it's amazing how often we're disconnected from ourselves. And so one of the other big pushes that we're doing in our district is around educator well-being, is this push for creating a positive culture for within our schools. And I really love this concept because, we can work with a group of students for anywhere from, depending on your school, sometimes it's, 12 years, in our school it's 4 years, grades 9 to 12, and then they're gone. But our teachers tend to stay the same. And the people that are creating your positive cultures in your school are the ones that are there and staying. And the kids are get to have that opportunity of the outcome of that. And so what are we doing as educators ourselves to really push this positive culture, to really enhance our own sense of well-being, so we're coming to it from a place of authenticity? And how are we regulating ourselves and recharging ourselves and making sure that we're resilient? Because we can't ask that of our students if we're not making sure we do it ourselves. So this is a big push for me and within our district, that staff well-being is the key to a school's success, and that when we put that well-being first. I talk a lot about positive culture. I think it's a really exciting piece. We do a lot of work in our staff to build community so that our staff feel seen, valued, and heard, not only by administration, by the head teachers, by the leaders, but also by our own staff. We're making sure that we're making connections. Sometimes we're doing gratitude circles. We're doing mindfulness check-ins at our staff meetings. We're doing social events outside of school together where everyone's included. We're eating lunch together. At lunch, we're leaving our classrooms and we're coming down. We're going lunches out. We're doing things together. We're doing check-ins on a regular basis. We're doing fun activities in the school where the students see the educators getting along. And it sure says something when you can be friendly with the teacher in the classroom right next door to you. It sure shows a good modeling system of what our kids need us to see and do. Sort of the essence of what I wanted to share with you today, and a little bit of information about what I'm doing here and what's happening in the world and what's happening in positive education. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm so thrilled that you're beginning this conversation in your country in Ireland. And I'm so excited that this is going to continue. And so stay in touch. You can find me on Facebook at Lisa Baylis Educator. And then on Twitter, I tend to have a strong presence on social media. I share a lot of the research that's happening out in the positive education, positive psychology world through those positive education platforms. And I'm working towards creating a blog where I can start getting that information out a little bit more. But it's my privilege and pleasure to have spent this short bit of time with you. I appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best in all your endeavors in creating a positive atmosphere and creating a good sense of well-being for yourself and for your students. Thank you.